I joined Intercom about 18 months ago, and this is what the marketing site looked like when I started in my first week back in March of last year. And back then, we sold Intercom as a single product, and we marketed 4 use cases that we thought Intercom was great for. We had a typical SaaS business model where you could choose from one of 4 plans, with our premium plan having everything on it. This is what traffic to our marketing site looked like back then, from the period of October 2013 to March 2014. We're averaging about 35,000 uniques every month, and growth back then was primarily organic, and it was driven largely by word of mouth. And then I started. Yep. Obviously, this is not all down to me. We now have a team of 22 people across all of marketing. There's a lot of work that's gone on across the entire business to help us reach this point. But we now average about 220,000 uniques every month, and that's about 5x in growth. So the question begs, how did we do this? So today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we've done in marketing over the last year and a half that I believe are some of the primary contributors to this next phase of growth for the business. This is what our marketing site looks like today. Our vision fundamentally hasn't changed, but the way that we take Intercom to market completely has. We now sell 4 products that are integrated on this one simple platform that is Intercom. And we got to this point based on the jobs to be done methodology. Can I get a show of hands of how many of you in the audience are familiar with jobs to be done? Well, it's about 25%, 20%. So for the sake of the rest of you, I'm going to quickly explain what it means, and then I'm going to talk about how we've applied that thinking to our entire marketing strategy. So if you Google jobs to be done, you'll find this video from Clay Christensen, who is a professor at the Harvard Business School, and he's really the brains behind the jobs to be done methodology. And it's a great way to think about and understand customers' motivations and why they buy your products. Now, while Clay talks about milkshakes as the example in this video, I'm not going to talk about milkshakes today. I'm going to start by showing you how we've applied this thinking to a part of our product, and then show you how you can apply that same thinking to your marketing strategy. So some of you may be familiar with this. It's the Intercom user map. It's a live view of all of your customers all around the world. And we thought of it as just that. We thought of it as a map. But when we looked at how our customers were using it, we noticed some really interesting trends. Primarily, people were using it to share, whether that was at an event and they wanted to impress the people coming to their booth, or sharing it on Twitter to impress investors. And when we thought of this thing as a map, we went and built all of these things. All the things that you would typically associate with a map, all the features and functionality you expect. But when we actually understood the job, we went and did all these things. We understood that it was actually a vanity showpiece for people. So we went and built this. And this is a live, animated, shareable version of that same map. But it's based on helping people do that job of showing it off. And turns out that a worse map actually does a better job. And more of our customers now share their map on Twitter as a result. And the key thing that I wanted to highlight here is once you understand the job, understanding how to improve your product becomes so much more obvious. And that same thinking can also be applied to marketing. Now, conventional marketing techniques, they teach you to group customers by attributes and focus on personas. But the problem with that approach is that your product then tends to be too focused on what you want to sell and not enough on what your customers actually need. And that need is the job that they need to get done. Now, while your customers do come in all shapes and sizes and across all different verticals and all different types of industries, the one thing that they do have in common is the job that they need to get done. So how do you actually go about understanding what those jobs are? Well, you need to talk to lots of different people. And you need to talk to a broad spectrum of your customers. Brand new customers, people that just signed up, people that canceled, people that have been using your product for a long time, people that canceled last week. You want to talk to a very broad spectrum of customers. And to do this, we worked with a group called the Rewired Group. They're a consultancy based down in Detroit, and they're specialists in the jobs to be done methodology. And they helped us conduct about 45 phone interviews with customers. And then over a period of 2 days, we went down to Detroit, and we deeply studied 15 of those phone conversations. And through a lot of debate and discussion, often a lot of heated discussion, we came out of those 2 days with a core understanding of these 4 jobs that people hired Intercom for. And they largely validated a lot of the hunches that we had already, but what was really impactful and really valuable to us was just having a very, very clear articulation of what those jobs were. So So you can see these are the job cards that we produced after those 2 days down with the Rewired group. And you can see in the top left a very clear articulation in very plain English about what each job is, and then some more information about what the job is more about, what it's less about, and the journey that a customer goes on when they look to hire a product to do this particular job. So we took those job cards and then working with products and working on our pricing and our packaging strategy, we completely rethought about how we took Intercom to market. And we ended up with these 4 products, each designed for people to hire Intercom for one of those 4 jobs. And in marketing, it was our job to then take those jobs and clearly articulate the problems that they solved for each of the products. This is an example of our landing page for our Engage product. And it helps you understand the problem and then goes deep into how the product works and how you can use it. And this is a whole nother talk in itself about how we produce these pages. So I wrote a quick blog post on it. I recommend you check that out if you're interested in learning more about that process and how we got to that point. But the key thing here is that when you understand the jobs that your product is hired for, it can inform your entire go-to-market strategy, because you can be so much more strategic about identifying the different channels and the different mediums and the different tactics that you want to use to reach your audience. And for us, that starts with reaching those people. Who are the people that would want to hire Intercom for one of these 4 jobs that we have? Then we also want to be attracting these people and introducing them to the Intercom brand and introducing them to our products. Once we've done that, we want to convince them that our products can be hired for those jobs. And when they're in the product itself, we want to educate them, help them get more value out of those products. And lastly, we want to be continually delighting our customers so that they become promoters of those products. Now, we do this, we think about this across each and every one of the jobs and all of our 4 products. And there's lots of different things that we do at each and every stage. But I'm just going to focus on one of our products, that is the Learn product, and talk about a few things that we've done across each of the different stages. So, starting with reaching your audience, we like to sponsor trade shows and events and identify events that we know that will meet the people that could hire Intercom for this job. So this is Colin Bentley. He's one of our product managers over in Dublin. And this is him at our booth at Mind the Product in London, which is an event targeted at product managers, which is a perfect audience for our Learn job, which is all about helping you get rich, quality product feedback from the right customers. We also seek opportunities to speak at these events. So this is Des, who you saw speak earlier. This is him up on stage at Mind the Product, speaking about product strategy. We invest a lot of time in producing content to attract people to Intercom as well and introduce them to the brand, the way that we think, and ultimately our products. How many of you subscribe to the Inside Intercom blog? Hopefully all of you. If you don't, you should. But this is a company-wide effort. The blog is contributed to by people across engineering, across marketing, across sales, finance, product, design, customer support. Everyone in the company contributes to the blog. We also write books, and this is an example. This is our first book that we wrote on the topic of product management. And then the last piece of content I wanted to highlight was a landing page that we put together, again, all focused on the Learn job and helping people make better product decisions. So once we've attracted these people and introduced them to Intercom, the next job is for us to convince them that they should hire our product for that job. And that's where our product landing pages come in. Hopefully we've told a good story and we've convinced you that you want to sign up and try our product. And once you're in the product, we then make use of very timely, targeted, contextual in-app messages to help you use our product for that job. And you combine that with documentation. Again, all that documentation that we create is structured around using our products for a particular job. And lastly, we conduct weekly demos of each of our products, again, structured around doing the job. And finally, it's very important to make sure that all of you guys are happy. So our product team spends a lot of time and energy on continually shipping new features and new improvements to the product, and they're all focused on helping you do jobs better. And this is an example of a feature we added to our Engage product, which helps you understand the effectiveness of the messages that you're sending to customers. So that's a look at some of the things we're doing, and you're probably wondering, does it actually work? I can confidently say yes, it does work. If you remember the slide from the beginning of the presentation, and you look at our traffic growth, that's not what's important. But when you layer email signups and the people that are signing up to try Intercom on top of that, you can see that over the same period, it's growing at pretty much the same rate, which is a really good sign to me that we're generating quality and qualified traffic and attracting the right people to Intercom. And I firmly believe that if you can align every phase of your marketing strategy, from the content that you're producing, the acquisition tactics that you employ. As long as they're all aligned and understanding the job that your customers are hiring your product for, as long as it leads all back to the product, then you'll be successful. So the question I want to leave you with, and hopefully something you want to go away and answer now, is what job do people hire your product for? Thank you.